You ready?
Okay. The obesity rate in children has slowly increased over the past several years. Obesity is not just a case of baby fat. Effects are long-term. Overweight children have 7% chance of becoming overweight or obese adults. About 12% of U.S. children between the ages of 2 and 19 are obese. Problems such as obesity is increasing worldwide and set to become the world's biggest health problem. The most recent calculations show that Americans lead all over countries just over 30% of the population categorized as obese and nearly an additional third as being overweight. Why is obesity worth talking about? Obesity is worth talking about because it causes strokes, several types of cancer, and heart diseases. Obesity is the number one cause of type 2 diabetes. This chart shows race and sex from the ages of 20 and older in the year 2000-2008.
For the first study, I got the article Understanding the Causal Factors of Obesity using the International Classification, Disability and Health. The purpose of this study was to quantitatively explore the effects of behavioral, psychological, and socio-demographic factors on predicting body mass and index in U.S. women. Women using the International Classification of Functioning, Disability and Health. The method, they use the ICF, which is the International Classification of Functioning, score sets for obesity, and the data was a National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey from 1996 to 2006, and a sample of about 8,766 U.S. women. The results was, for body image, perception was at 42%, and it was the most significant contributor, followed by the hypertension at 12%, gene health condition at 11%, diabetes and borderline diabetes at 10%, arthritis at 9%. The conclusion of my first study was that to decrease obesity prevalence rates in U.S. women, obesity prevention and treatment programs show parallel the contributory effects of its most significant causal factors of psychological, biological, and behavioral factors. For the second study, I did overweight and obesity in lesbian and bisexual college women. The purpose of this study was to estimate and compare the prevalence of overweight and obesity among self-identified lesbian, bisexual, and heterosexual college women. The method used was a secondary analysis of the spring 2006 National College Health Assessment, and it was conducted with 31,500 female college students aged 18 through 25 years to compare body mass index among lesbian, bisexual, and heterosexual college women. The results of this study compared to heterosexual female college students, lesbians, and bisexual women were both significantly more likely to be overweight or obese. Lesbians were also less likely to be underweight compared to heterosexual college women. The conclusion of this study was that self-identified lesbian and bisexual college women were more likely to be overweight or obese than their heterosexual counterparts. Healthcare professionals and educators should target these high-risk populations for obesity prevention programs. A real-life case, an 800-pound South Carolina man died after getting stuck in his recliner for 8 months. He had a knee injury. He went to the hospital. He was brought back home and placed in a recliner. It wasn't a good idea because they knew that he would eventually be stuck. He then ate, slept, and used the bathroom out of this recliner. After a few months, he got this severe pain throughout his body and started looking for help. A lot of officers that he called said that we could help you as long as you can get here. So now he had to figure out how he would get out of his house and get to the office to seek help. He had a wife that he met on MySpace, and she stuck with him through this trial. And eventually the paramedics came to get him. They had to cut him out of the chair, cut the doorway to get him out of the house, and he died of a massive heart attack hours after arriving to the hospital.
Can you do that for me while I'm talking? With obesity, correcting the epidemic, there's a lot of things that have been going on around, like in North Carolina. I know for one, they've started taking soda out of high schools and stuff. The snacks are now baked snacks. Is two things that they have started to do to help prevent obesity. So that's why it's less of stuff like that. And the Get Fit American Foundation, that's why it's important to exercise daily. They have implemented that into high school and middle school and elementary school children. They've had to do at least 30 minutes of exercise daily. That's why it's, in high school you have to take PE. Also, there are quite other organizations nationally that have gotten involved. The American Heart Association, American Diabetes Association, and even the FDA have gotten involved in this epidemic in America because it's one of the second leading epidemics in America to kill Americans, basically. Some ways that have been successful of helping obesity is with the ways that people have approached people of obesity has been they try to put everything in one box. And that's not the way you go about it. You can either do physical activity and focus on them eating right and physical activity, or just being more focused on weight loss, because some people feel uncomfortable with the fact that they're worried about weight, whether they don't think that you're trying to make them healthy just because of weight loss. So that's the most way, and that's why like McDonald's and most fast food restaurants have had to switch to putting calories on everything that they have on their menu, because people are more conscious of what they're eating, because they don't want to run into a problem of going to the doctor and saying that they're obese and overweight. Most people don't know that they're overweight or obese until they do a BMI index calculation, which says that by your height, your weight, and how much you exercise and your age, and it tells you whether or not you're overweight. So the way that they're teaching young children is by getting them into sports and activities that they would like, to make it seem like that it's not just to keep them healthy, but they want to let them know that that's a way to keep them healthy and not be like some kids in America. Ways that didn't help with obesity, as I stated before, is when they all try to put them together. You know, they have to break it up and focus on one individual, like in their own way, because everybody's not the same. Everybody doesn't want to look at it as, oh, I'm overweight, or you know, I want to get better. Maybe they just want to exercise more, or maybe they do want to eat better. Long weight loss programs in general were not effective. Like stuff like, I mean, some people can do it, like Weight Watchers and things of that nature, but people that weren't seeing immediate results, they didn't really feel like that was their place. I seen that in when I was doing this study. And a variety of program components and strategies can excuse me. Okay. And when you combine them, as I was saying before, they have more positive outcomes than being specific. You know, so like when you say as far as making goals, it's better to say, oh, I would like to eat more salad a day. Short-term goals that can help people in the long run. And I learned in this research that when you're attacking obesity, you want to approach it in a personalized task from person to person.
Okay, I came up with procedures that schools can do with the kids and stuff, being that the kids have to like eat breakfast and lunch at school. So those are the two main meals of the day. So it's good for the kids to have nutritious meals 2 times out the day. And the school can also like engage the kids into more activities for more exercise, and they can enforce health education classes for the kids to like be familiar with all types of diseases, mainly obesity. And they can also hire school coordinators to teach the kids how to eat right. And oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm sorry, y'all. But they can also hire coordinators to teach the kids and teach the staff in the lunchroom how to prepare nutritious meals. Okay, here we go. Okay, my reason for choosing these procedures is because public health schools can help change this problem, being that students are at school majority of the time. I will enforce these procedures pertaining to nutrition because students eat breakfast and lunch at school, which will ensure 2 healthy meals throughout the day. I will also enforce physical activity, therefore students can get the proper exercise at least 5 times a week. I will hire a school health coordinator, therefore the school will have extra guidance when pertaining to health-related problems. I will create more health education classes to make sure students are familiar with this problem. Okay. Another way you can prevent child obesity is at home. Like the parents have to help out too. Cannot just be only the schools. My reason I chose these procedures is because the child's parents can also help prevent the problem at home. I would recommend the parents to allow the child to eat mainly fruit, vegetables, and low-calorie food because this will help the child eat healthy every meal. Reducing the amount of TV will also help because the child will be more active if he or she is unable to watch TV. This will also help the child prevent rapid weight gain at a young age. Entering your child into sports will definitely guarantee exercise and enjoyment at the same time. Planning fun outdoor activities with your child not only helps the child stay in shape, it also helps the parent get the proper exercise as well. And next, I have a video of procedures that Michelle Obama uses to prevent childhood obesity.
Exercise is one of the goals of Michelle Obama's Let's Move initiative. This is another one, nutrition. He's eating a carrot. The U.S. Surgeon General says 1 in 3 American children is overweight, making U.S. kids the largest of all developed countries. And in the past 3 decades, childhood obesity rates in America have tripled. The First Lady wants to eliminate that distinction within a generation.
And none of us wants this future for our kids, and none of us wants this future for our country.
Mrs. Obama is promoting more physical fitness and healthier food in school cafeterias. She says 30 million American children get the majority of their calories from foods they eat at school. The administration is proposing an additional $10 billion over the next decade to set nutrition standards for schools.
What we don't want is the situation where parents are taking all the right steps at home, and then their kids undo all that work when they go to school with salty, fatty foods in the school cafeteria.
The First Lady says treatments for obesity-related illnesses cost nearly $150 billion every year. Pediatricians say if healthy habits are learned at younger ages, obese children will slim down and won't grow into obese adults.
Every day we see overweight toddlers who struggle to learn to walk or run. Overweight can cause our children to have respiratory problems. A youngster who develops diabetes in his teens may need a kidney transplant by the time he's 30.
Health experts recommend that children get an hour of active exercise daily, but that's difficult, with American kids spending 7.5 hours watching TV or playing with electronics. So let's move. And I mean literally, let's move. President Obama named the first ever task force to combat childhood obesity, and he wants a plan on his desk within 3 months.
There you go.
Mrs. Obama says her idea isn't to eliminate fun foods from a child's life, but to balance the burgers and fries with vegetables, fruit, and a workout. Carolyn Pursuti, VOA News.
Okay, and now we have some questions to ask you guys.
Well, first was the citation and reference page that can't get out, but you have a copy of the citation and reference. It's in here. First question, how do you guys feel personally about obesity, and what ways do you think anyone can go about preventing it or just fixing it, correcting, altering it?
Well, first of all, it starts with the foods. Like most foods that are really healthy or whatever are like pumped up with a bunch of, steroids and, all these highly like fattening things. Organic is the way to go, but it's it's more expensive every year.
Okay, and my second question, do you guys think that advertisement on TV for fast food and billboards and all these fatty slogans and all this, do you think that affects it? If so, why or why not?
Of course it affects it because it entertains people, catches their eye, makes them want to go get it, just to test, just to try it, just to taste it. And some people's minds are just so easily attracted to the small things, so they're gonna want that. And if they eat it more, they're gonna eat that.
Okay, you just asked my one question. Yes.
Can't think of another?
No, I was gonna ask what are more ways we can do to prevent childhood obesity.
If you were dealing with obesity yourself, how would you want somebody to approach you to help you get better?
I want them to offer me exercise.
Offer you exercise?
A routine?
Yeah.
Like a workout plan? Would you need somebody, do you think if you were obese, would you need somebody to work out with you to motivate
I
you?
don't want to do it for myself.
Anybody else?
I guess big friends or whatever. Cause if you're you're fat and you get skinny, they wouldn't want to do it, I guess.
You want to go for a walk?
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
The question I had was, do you think obesity is a big problem in society today?
Why or why not? Can be open-ended.
All this technology, it's decreasing job, but it's also decreasing activity, and people I don't need to go to the library. I got it here on the internet.
Well, any questions from you guys?
I have a couple. First and foremost, you are the generation that was fed with Infomilk. Most of you are familiar with that. It's a milk supplement. It was injected with lots of vitamins, A, B, C, D, or whatever. Do you think that has any relation